Welcome. This is a product overview of ComplianceForge's Integrated Incident Response Program, which we call the IIRP. Over the next few minutes, we will walk through what it is, what problems it solves, exactly what is included, and why incident response matters. The IIRP is cybersecurity focused to implement a program-level incident response governance function. It takes a holistic approach to governing each phase of incident response operations. It leverages industry-recognized incident response practices to enable viable, repeatable processes, and it includes example incident response plans and tabletop exercise scenarios. If a breach hit tomorrow, could you show an auditor exactly how your team detects, triages, escalates, and recovers from an incident? And who owns each step? Most organizations have incident response policies that say what is required, but not the documented program that proves how it actually runs. Writing that from a blank page, under pressure, is how gaps in audit findings happen. The IIRP gives you a running start, an editable, program-level incident response framework built on NIST 861 guidance, with example incident response plans and tabletop exercise scenarios. It gets you roughly 80 to 90% of the way there, and then your team tailors it to your environment, tools, and escalation paths. Can you honestly answer how incident response is documented at your organization? When you peel back the onion and prepare for an audit, there is a need to address the how for certain topics, such as incident response. While policies and standards describe why something is required and what needs to be done, many companies fail to create documentation that addresses how the policies and standards are actually implemented. ComplianceForge did the heavy lifting. The IIRP is specifically designed to provide you with the ability to hit the ground running with incident response. From laying the foundation of how to classify incidents, to responding to events, and providing tabletop exercise material, the IIRP can quickly mature your incident response capabilities. It is based on NIST 861 guidance, the gold standard for incident response frameworks, and is capable of scaling for any sized company. So what exactly is the IIRP? It can serve as the cornerstone element in your organization's incident response capability. The reality is that incidents do not care if your responders are or are not prepared. And generally, with incident response operations, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. What matters most is appropriate leadership, capable of directing response operations in an efficient and effective manner. The IIRP is an editable Microsoft Word document, but it also comes with Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, and Visio templates that contain the program-level documentation and process flows to establish a mature, integrated incident response program. The IIRP addresses the how questions for how your company manages cybersecurity incident response and helps provide evidence of due care. It contains tabletop exercise scenarios based on the categories of incidents so that your company can train on likely scenarios and tailor plans specific to your needs. It defines the hierarchical approach to handling incidents. It categorizes 11 different types of incidents and 4 different classifications of incident severity. It defines the phases of incident response operations, including the deliverables expected for each phase. And it defines the integrated security incident response team to enable a unified approach to operations. It also defines the scientific method approach to incident response, provides guidance on how to write up incident reports, such as lessons learned, provides guidance on forensics evidence acquisition, and identifies and defines indicators of compromise and sources of evidence. The IIRP is a one-time purchase of editable Microsoft Office documentation templates. There is no software to install, no agent to deploy, no account to provision, and no cloud environment to configure. If your organization can open and edit Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Visio files, the IIRP is ready to use. It is delivered as fully editable Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Visio files, compatible with Microsoft 365, Office 2016 and newer, and most third-party tools. The IIRP includes built-in styles, tables, tabletop exercise decks, and process flow diagrams that are ready for customization. Documentation is delivered via email download link within 1 to 2 business days of purchase, often the same business day. There is no installer, no license server, and no activation step. And it is a one-time purchase. A single entity license is included, with no recurring subscription requirement, although an optional update subscription is available. This deployment model is intentional. Incident response documentation belongs in your organization's own hands, inside your own document management and incident response tool chains, rather than locked inside a vendor's SaaS tool. Once delivered, this product belongs to you. The first problem the IIRP solves is a lack of in-house security experience. Writing security documentation is a skill that many good cybersecurity professionals simply are not proficient at and avoid at all cost. The NIST 861-based IIRP is an efficient method to obtain a comprehensive incident response program for your organization. The second is compliance requirements. Nearly every organization, regardless of industry, is required to have a formally documented incident response program. Requirements range from PCI DSS to NIST 800-171 to the EU GDPR. The third is audit failures. Security documentation does not age gracefully like a fine wine. Outdated documentation leads to gaps that expose organizations to audit failures and system compromises. The IIRP is easy to maintain and customize. Since it is Microsoft Office-based documentation, you can keep current as things change. And the fourth is vendor requirements. It is very common for clients and partners to request evidence of an incident response program. The IIRP provides this evidence. The first is clear documentation. The IIRP provides comprehensive documentation to prove that your incident response program exists, which equates to a time saving of hundreds of hours and tens of thousands of dollars in staff and consultant expenses. The second is time savings. It is a semi-customized solution that requires minimal resources to fine-tune for your organization's specific needs. And the third is alignment with leading practices. The NIST-based IIRP is written to align your organization with leading practices for incident response. It is designed to take your organization from informal incident handling to a defensible, repeatable response program in weeks rather than months. So what do you actually receive? The IIRP is delivered as editable Microsoft Office documentation. Purchase includes a single entity license and the first year of product updates. The IIRP document covers the program-level framework for incident response, including scope, applicability, roles and responsibilities, the incident response team structure, the 11 incident categories, 4 severity classifications, response phases, and the deliverables expected at each phase. And in addition to the main document, you will also receive a RASKey template, the IIRP categories and scenarios document, multiple PDF reference guides, and scenarios from CISA. Most cybersecurity documentation describes what incident response policy should require. The IIRP is different. It serves as the cornerstone that operationalizes how incident response is actually conducted. It fills the middle ground between high-level policies and the tactical incident response plans executed by individual contributors during real incidents, giving your organization the program-level guidance and tabletop training material to respond effectively. Now compare that against the two alternatives for obtaining quality cybersecurity documentation. For your internal staff to generate comparable documentation, it would take them an estimated 220 internal staff work hours, which equates to a cost of approximately $19,500 in staff-related expenses. That is about 3 to 6 months of development time, where your senior cybersecurity and incident response staff would be diverted from operational duties. If you hire a consultant to generate this documentation, it would take them an estimated 125 consultant work hours, which equates to a cost of approximately $38,000. That is about 2 to 3 months of development time for a contractor to provide you with the deliverable. The IIRP is approximately 10% of the cost for your internal staff and approximately 5% of the cost for an external consultant to generate equivalent documentation. The program itself is $2,175. The IIRP is built to be evaluated before purchase. A PDF example of the policies and standards is available on the product page. The IIRP comes with a wealth of guidance, including scenario-based guidance, example incident response plans, and how to identify both indicators of exposure and indicators of compromise. So how much work is left for you? Here is the customization process at a glance. ComplianceForge aims for approximately an 80% solution, because it is impossible to write a 100% cookie-cutter document that can be equally applied across every organization. Incident response depends on your specific industry, technology stack, regulatory environment, and existing response toolchain, so the remaining work is fine-tuning the IIRP with the specific information that only your organization knows. In practice, customization is filling in the blanks, adding your company name and logo, naming actual incident response team members and incident response leads, tailoring incident categories and severity thresholds to your organization's risk tolerance, calibrating tabletop scenarios to your most likely incidents, and integrating the IIRP with your existing security tooling, communications plans, and legal and PR coordination workflows. If you want a hand, ComplianceForge offers optional professional services. They are not required to customize ComplianceForge documentation. The 5-hour bundle may be beneficial for companies that need some guidance on getting started with how to tailor their documentation. The 10-hour bundle is for companies that need additional guidance on tailoring their documentation to meet their compliance requirements. And the 20-hour bundle is for companies that need robust services beyond just 10 hours to assist in tailoring their documentation. Purchased professional service hours expire 120 days, or 4 months, from the time of purchase if unused. Hours are intended to supplement, not replace, your own customization work. There are more reasons to buy. A documented incident response program has become a baseline expectation. PCI DSS, NIST 800-171, CMMC, HIPAA, GDPR, SOX, New York DFS, SOC 2, and the SEC Cybersecurity Disclosure Rule all require evidence of a formal incident response program with defined response procedures and reporting timelines. Cyber insurance underwriters increasingly require evidence of a documented program as a precondition for coverage. Without a documented incident response program, organizations face audit findings, lost contracts, denied insurance claims, regulatory penalties, and the operational reality that the first major incident becomes the moment the response procedures are written, not the moment they are executed. The IIRP provides the playbook responders need before the next incident occurs. The IIRP operates at the strategic level to provide guidance to your organization's incident responders. It provides the overall framework that governs incident response across the enterprise, with a focus on repeatable processes and sustainable operations. It breaks down the management of incident response into phases. Pre-incident, with Phase 1, prepare. Incident response operations, with Phase 2, detect and analyze. Phase 3, contain. Phase 4, eradicate. And Phase 5, recovery. Then post-incident, with Phase 6, report. And Phase 7, remediate. Here are the 7 phases of incident response operations at a glance. If you have any questions, please email support@complianceforge.com or call 1-307-241-8740. We've been helping organizations since 2005, and we are always happy to help.